Hey, what's up, guys? On today's live daily news, the mom in the Brittle bone baby case has been released, and we have the details. Crazy stuff in Sutton County caused an intersection to be shut down, and the Tom Green County Sheriff's Office is on the lookout for a robbery suspect in Grape Creek. I'm Matt Cotrier, and this is Live. So we will get to those stories in a minute. But first, State Representative Drew Darby delivers results for the Concho Valley in West Texas and is running for re-election in the March Republican primary. Trusted conservatives like Congressman August Pfluger, the National Rifle Association, and the Texas Farm Bureau Ag Fund have endorsed Drew. Mark your calendar. Early voting runs from February 20th to March 1st, and Election Day is Tuesday, March the 5th. The woman charged with murdering her infant son was released from custody on Wednesday after taking a plea deal that sentenced her to time she has already spent in jail. Lesley Moreno Fernandez was charged with beating to death a 20-month-old Nathaniel Quezada. The toddler died of blunt force trauma injuries so severe he had 3 broken vertebrae. Moreno Fernandez was jailed in 2018, charged with capital murder. She eventually pled down to 2 lesser counts and was released after just 4 years behind bars. Read more on sanangelolive.com. Sutton County law enforcement locked down the busy highway intersection in Sonora, US 277 and Interstate 10 this morning. According to the Sutton County SO, drivers were diverted from the intersection until illegal migrant fugitives who bailed out of a vehicle after a chase were captured there. An early man indicted for recording a minor girl in the shower. Court records indicate 34-year-old Christopher Constanza was caught using his cell phone to make illegal recordings. He was caught and interviewed by law enforcement and admitted to the illegal recording. Gross. Read more on that story at sanangelolive.com. And the Tom Green County Sheriff's Office is searching for a fugitive who robbed the Alon convenience store in Grape Creek. The robber was caught on video and authorities released a photo on the individual. Sheriff deputies are asking if anyone knows the individual and is asking them to call the Sheriff's Department if so to give information. You can see that whole story on sanangelolive.com as well. Let's turn to the weather. So look for increasing cloud cover tonight with a low of 46 degrees and some patchy fog. On Friday, there is a 40% chance of rain, mainly before 3 p.m., with a high of about 65. Look for lows in the 30s and 40s with highs in the 50s and 60s for the next 7 days. There is no rain in the forecast after Friday. And stay with us. We'll have sports and then 2 interviews. But first, here's a word from the Bass Bunch.
Why are people calling Jim Bass Ford the home of the $39,999 Ford F-150? Maybe because we are. Right now, you can drive off in a new 2023 Ford F-150 STX Crew Cab for only $39,999. We have a few colors to choose from, but they won't last long. You can only get these deals at Jim Bass Ford at the corner of Houston Hart and Arden Road, or shop 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
The Angelo State Rams and Rambells basketball teams return to action at home tonight against St. Mary's at the Stevens Arena at the Janelle Center. Both teams come off of road losses against Cameron last weekend and need a Lone Star Conference win to get back on track in their pursuit of a conference championship. Rambell's head coach Alicia Ellis preached consistency at the team's press conference on Monday and says their focus on practice this week was to be ready on both ends of the floor. Let's take a look.
We've got to be the best version of ourselves in every spot. We can't take any day off. Every team is going to be out for us.
The Angelo State Rams currently ride a 4-game losing streak in a stretch of the season where injuries have piled up. The Rams remain competitive in all these losses, including a double overtime loss to Midwestern State last Thursday, but Coach Vinay Patel said he's ready to get some of his veterans back. Tip-off for the Bells tonight is at 5:30 p.m., and the Rams will fall immediately following the ladies at 7:30 p.m. And for more sports around the Concho Valley and beyond, be sure to check in every day at sanangelolive.com/news/sports.
Need a new or improved driveway? How's your parking lot or that old ranch road? Now is the time to get it repaved. San Angelo-based Mac Asphalt and Paving is ready to get to work for you right now. Go to macasphaltpaving.com and request a free, no-obligation quote. They're offering heavily discounted repaving and paving packages right now. If you've been thinking about paving your driveway, parking lot, or that ranch road, get a quick turnaround quote while you can save a whole lot. Do so by going to macasphaltandpaving.com.
So we were on vacation, family vacation, having a good time, and we get the call.
I mean, it was a river. It was a river in our house. That's the big thing, is we kept wondering, how bad is it?
It was devastating. I was like numb. It's like, how are we going to handle all this? What are we going to do? And they called Carpet Tech, and they were here within 20 minutes. One of my questions was, yes, it needs to happen, but how does it need to happen for the insurance? That was all handled, and so that was another load off of my shoulders and made me feel like we were in good hands.
And welcome back to the show. Joining me today is Bob Luthart with Fort Concho. Bob, welcome back.
Good afternoon, and thank you.
Happy New Year, I think.
And it is. Last I checked.
We're starting out a new year, so you've got a whole bunch of programs going on, and what's coming up?
Well, January is a little quiet. It's the month that we clean up and fix up and catch our breath. But February, of course, nationwide is African American Heritage Month.
Okay.
And at Fort Concho and in San Angelo, we try to profile the Buffalo Soldiers, the famed black troops of the Western Frontier. So here's your date and time. Mark down Sunday, February 25, from 2 to 4 p.m. We're going to have a program that will start at the new NAACP Buffalo Soldier Memorial.
Okay.
It's right across the street from the fort, weather permitting. We hope it's nice. And then we're going to have a book signing. A gentleman out of Austin, Jim Matthews, who's written a good book on the 10th Cavalry.
Okay.
And then, depending again on the weather, if it's good, I think we'll be fine. We will have a reception inside of Barracks 1, where the new Buffalo Soldier exhibit is. So it's a threefer. And our favorite word, it is free. So, and there will be snacks and coffee and some other things. So come on down, and be a good way if you haven't seen the Buffalo Soldier Memorial. Great opportunity. Plenty of nearby parking. It's right in the Paseo area, so there's hundreds of spaces nearby.
And that's a great addition to the fort, and a fitting tribute to the Buffalo Soldiers who served.
Absolutely. Turned out terrific. The NAACP local chapter under Shirley Spears when she was president sort of ramrodded the thing, raised the money, and a committee led by Shirley and others designed it. One of our consultants, who's seen maybe 3 or 4 dozen of these kind of memorials across the country, said it's the best one he's ever seen. And I think the reason for that is it's effective. It's a teachable place. I mean, statues are nice. We were talking earlier about statues, but they don't have a lot of educational component. And unfortunately, these days, statues seem to have a short shelf life. They seem to be coming down more than they're going up. But this memorial has got 10 granite obelisks or figures, and each one has a story and a graphic or two and some maps. And if you knew nothing about the Buffalo Soldiers, if you just never heard of such a thing, it's a good way to learn. And it's got benches, and there'll be more trees and shade put in. I think over time it's going to become a very attractive aspect of our tourism in the city.
Well, it's a great location because it's right there by the Paseo and like you said, the parking and the farmer's market location.
Accidental tourism, as we call it. You're there to buy some rutabagas or some potatoes or something. You say, gee, Myrtle, what's that over there? And then you come on over. Or a visitor is coming to visit the fort at Christmas, Frontier Day, or another event, parks and sees, oh, what's that? And I know I was talking with Shirley the other day, and one big issue we need to resolve is a sign there, something that says what this is, and here it is, and come pay attention to us. And I know she's going to be working with some funders on lighting, so that at night it looks just as attractive as it does during the day. So best is yet to come, but a very, very good feature, and we're very proud of it, and we're happy at the fort. It's across the street from us.
One of the things that that you guys do very effectively, I think, is fundraise to keep the fort and maintain and improve Fort Concho, which is our National Historic Landmark. So you've got 2 barracks that are being built.
And 2 mess halls, even as we speak. We are in the home stretch. This is the most significant project at the fort probably since my predecessor, John Vaughn, was fortunate to plan the takedown of the old school and the parade ground and rebuilding the post hospital. I mean, this is really big. This is an addition of 7,800 square feet of quality space. It's the recreation of 4 historic buildings that fill out Barracks Row. It is very impressive to look down that row and see 6 historic reconstructed barracks all in a row. But most critically for us operationally, it will be our brand new library and archives. And we have lots of stuff. I mean, we have 15,000 or more books. We have many feet of running files and pictures and clippings, and of course we've made a commitment to preserve the entire archives of the Standard Times newspaper. All of that will be coming over to the fort, and this will give us a place to put it, in addition to a first-class collection of first edition Western books, which have been loaned to us on a permanent basis by a local scholar, and these will be put in another barrack, so we could have the premier Western frontier research center in the territory, and the whole goal is to make it accessible to the public. So if you're a 7th grader, doing a paper on something, or a PhD candidate, you all come on down and we'll take care of you.
That is extremely important for the fort to keep it, to keep the history alive, and that, of course, ties to San Angelo, because without the fort there wouldn't be a San Angelo.
We are joined at the hip, and we are happy for it. If you don't like San Angelo, you can blame us. We were the beginning back in 1867, but it's very true. The fort and the city and the military culture, which is a whole other issue, is tied together. San Angelo has won something called the Altus Award, which is virtually unattainable once, highly unusual to get twice. I think the city has gotten it 3 times, and they're going for a 4th, and that is an award that reflects the success of community partnerships between an Air Force base and a town. And this town is well known nationwide as being supportive of the military culture.
And I wouldn't know how to live anywhere else without that kind of relationship. It's just unique.
When you think about it, and certainly the fort likes to think that it's important to the city, and I think it is. But there are 2 institutions here that make San Angelo what it is. One is Goodfellow, and the other is Angelo State University.
Yes.
And they're both tied together very closely, thanks to General President Reverend Ronnie Hawkins, a man of 3 titles. But you take those 2 things out of the mix, and it is absolutely frightening what San Angelo would decline to.
It really is. Those are the core the core parts of the city and the community, and we're fortunate to have all of it. So.
And it's funny, earlier this morning I was visiting, or I was part of a Chamber of Commerce destination marketing organization, tourism, seance development, strategic planning, there's so many names for it. And we were talking about how to better market San Angelo. And one of the issues that came up through and through was we have a lot here. Now, it's customary when you live someplace, you're kind of dismissive, or you just don't get too impressed with yourself because that's not cool. But this is a cool town. I mean, this town has got attractions in terms of nature, history, shopping, dining, entertainment, second to none for a city of its size. Now, am I saying we're as big and great and wonderful and bad on all things as Houston and Dallas? No, I mean, Greater Houston's 3.5 million, DFW's 5 to 6 million. We're about 120,000.
Yeah.
But if you look at what we have, how it's taken care of, where it is located, how accessible, and in most cases low cost, or our favorite word again, free. It is amazing.
Yeah.
And it always slays me when people say there's nothing to do in town. I want to say, well, gee, what cave are you living in?
Yeah.
I mean, you can go downtown and dine well and listen to music. You can go to ASU where there are sports and cultural programs. If you can get on the base, yes, it is a bit of a chore, but it's sometimes worth it. They have events, and let's not forget the natural wonders of the river and the lakes. And you got the stock show and the art museum and the da-da-da-da-da. There is just a ton here. And it's funny that we market this and we spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to bring outsiders in, which is good because they pay taxes. But sometimes the locals just go, eh.
Yeah. They ignore the National Historic Landmark and the significance of it.
So it's good that we do this, and Walt Koenig and Jeremy Barnes at the Chamber and the DMO, working with the committee, are doing some great work, and I think we're going to see some wonderful recognitions and developments coming down the road this year. And we got a lot here to be proud of, and it's a better, different town than it was 30, 40 years ago. And as my old boss used to say, the best is yet to come.
There we go. It's going to be a great year.
It will.
All right, Bob, thanks so much. We'll go back to you guys.
If you have been injured, call J. Chandler Law. You want an honest partner who will tell it to you straight. A proven advocate right here in town. Together, let's hold them accountable.
Hey, thank you, Bob, for visiting with us in studio today. Now, here's Hector Guzman, the conductor of the San Angelo Symphony.
And welcome back to the show. Joining me today is Hector Guzman with the San Angelo Symphony. Thanks for coming back.
Oh, thank you for having me back.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Ready to go.
You have a show coming up this weekend, and it sounds like it's going to be wonderful. So let's go through that.
Well, yeah, thank you. This concert has two different aspects of great music. The first one is the Frank Vignola Jazz Trio.
Okay.
It's unusual because it's two guitars and a bass player.
And normally there's like brass wind instruments or so.
Sometimes you have a jazz trio, which is piano, bass, and drums.
Okay.
And then, or you have a saxophone or a trumpet, as you said.
Right.
But this one is unusual because it's only two guitars and a bass.
And a bass. So that will be interesting, I think.
It will be very interesting, especially because I found out that their arrangements, that most of them are going to be played with the orchestra.
Okay.
And sometimes you don't get very good arrangements, but this time they're excellent. The orchestra is featured, and they play things by themselves, but most of the first half will be with the orchestra. Jazz favorites such as Stardust, Malagueña, Tico Tico, and several medleys, including one from Rodgers and Hammerstein and Les Brown and other favorites. So that's your first half.
Okay, that's the first half.
And then on the second half, you have classical music. Rossini's Overture to William Tell.
Of course.
The famous Lone Ranger.
Even I know that one.
Television theme. Then a tribute to George Gershwin's Porgy and Bess.
Okay.
So many of the most famous melodies from Porgy and Bess will be played by the orchestra. And then we conclude with a piece of music that is called The Young People's Guide to the Orchestra by British composer Benjamin Britten, in which it's sort of like a show of the different instruments of the orchestra, and it has a narrator.
Okay.
Gary Booth is going to do the narration, and it's going to describe just the different instruments of the orchestra and the things that I think it's usually performed with on a youth concert, but it's equally as effective at a regular concert. So those are your two halves, the jazz, the first half, and then the classical on the second half, but all of it fun.
That should be a wonderful evening for anyone, and especially people who, like me, want to appreciate music and just don't know how.
No, you'll have a good time.
Okay. And we were also talking about you've got this spectacular coming up at the Janelle Center in March.
Yes, that closes our season. Is our annual Pops concert. It will take place, as you said, at the Janelle Center, and it's going to feature Cirque de la Symphony, which is Cirque du Soleil circus acts.
Circus acts.
Yeah.
In the Janelle Center with the symphony.
With the symphony, and the circus acts are choreographed to great classical music.
That sounds fun.
It is a lot of fun, and I think the kids are going to love. Well, and the adults too. Going to love that, and it's a very family-oriented show, and they're going to enjoy it. So we're looking forward to it, and I think it will be a good ending of a very good season.
I'm looking forward to that one. That's a huge space that seems like it's made just for something like that. Something like that. So wrapping up a successful season. Mm-hmm. Any big plans for next year?
Yes, we're actually thinking about next year and the offerings that we have, and we have very, very good artists coming up. And we're just about to finish the last concert, and if we do, then we'll have everything wrapped up. You know, you have to do this 1 year to 2 years in advance.
Okay, to schedule everything.
Schedule everything, and also the artist. Mm-hmm. They're busy, so we need to put them under contract. It takes a little effort, but we're really excited. But again, the concert this Saturday is at 7 p.m. at the Murphy.
Okay.
And then, as you mentioned, the March concerts at the Janelle Center with Cirque de la Symphony. And we hope to give you an upgrade and updated version of the new season coming up.
Okay. And ticket information, they can find all that on the website and social media.
Yes, sanangelosymphony.org.
Okay.
Our phone number is 658-5877. Well, 325-658-5877. Information online, sanangelosymphony.org. And go enjoy the music.
Hector, thank you for coming and stopping by and visiting with us, and it's always good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. We'll go back to you guys.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Cano stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Cano's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
Hey, well, thanks again for watching, guys. Thank you, as always, for watching the only locally owned news show in the Concho Valley. We really appreciate your feedback in the comments section, the letters that you write to the editor, and the comments on Facebook and all that good stuff. So continue to do that for us. Thanks again. We'll see you later. I'm Matt Cotrier. See you soon.